it's coming together. I've had a few people ask me just for an update on how I'm going, and because I haven't posted in a while. Been pretty busy lately with work and all the kids' sports. Most of the summer sports have ended now, so I can spend a little bit more time in the garage, but it's been a little bit tricky. But so in this episode, I'll just give a quick update of what I've done, look at the fuel injection system, some of the plumbing, some of the interior stuff I've done. Yeah, so I hope you enjoy it. I've got all my gear sticking that back together. I've just put a boot around here, just one generic boot, like $12 or something. Doesn't fit very well because around the carpet here it's a bit shitty, but it'll do. So one of the next things I've got to decide what I'm going to do is the gauges. So there's no tacho, so I was just pulling this off just to see whether it's possible to put a tacho in here and then get rid of these, or maybe just mount a tacho up here, or because I've also got to run oil pressure and a few other gauges which I wanted just to monitor the engine. I've got like these things here. I can move down to here. I could put a nice little round gauge in there. There's a few options I can do. I could also get rid of that junk stereo. Yeah, I've put all the steering column and all that back together. You can see I've got my 3 pedals there now, and they all work. Bled the brakes. Yeah, I'll show you what else we've done. One of the things I've done, I've bolted back all the plenum chamber because I've got all the steering that back in. You might remember in through here was a bolt at the top of the steering pedal box. I'll put all that back together. Pull the rubbers nut back on as well. So that's all tidied up. You can see just here, that's the wiring harness, the main wiring harness, just in a plastic bag sitting over the side of the engine, because I'll have to run that back down along here, around the front to do the headlights, and meet up with all the other engine stuff as well. So I've done a bit more playing around under here, and as you can see, all the suspension, I've bolted all the suspension in. I didn't want to put you through all that. You saw how it all came apart, all the powder coating and everything went into it. I've bled up all the brakes and all that sort of stuff as well. And as you can see, there is still no exhaust on it, but that'll come a little bit later. I've also ripped out all the fuel lines from the back right to the front. The plan is to put some, they're only like, I think there might be 10mm pipe or something like that. They're really, really small. So the plan is to put thicker ones in and actually move them over to the other side of the car, run down the other chassis rail, because at the moment they run down the driver's side, and I want them to run down the passenger side. So that'll be one of the next things I need to do. So this is the engine oil cooler lines that run along here. They run down here through down to the oil cooler just down the bottom here, and it runs underneath the radiator. It's one of the really important things for a rotary, to keep the oil nice and cool, otherwise they'll overheat and it'll cause heaps of grief. So these lines are really important. Just a few more things about these ones. I'm going to run an oil pressure sender out of here. So there's a fitting you can buy which goes off here, and you can run one of those can type oil pressure senders to go under there. It's got the normal switch which just brings the light on and off, which is there when the oil pressure gets low. You might remember the old days, you used to be able to buy this block that went underneath. You undo those 2 bolts there, and this you can screw it into the side of it. It's just an aluminium block you can buy. You can still get them, they're like $100 or something, but the fittings on here are only like $30 or $40, so I think I'll go that way. I think it's probably a better idea. So I've got to lengthen these lines as well because they don't quite meet up down there. So that's one of the next jobs I've got to do as well. So as I said before, the fuel lines used to run up this side on the driver's side and up through this way, which is really close to the exhaust. So now I'm going to run them up on this side and come up through this side. So then this will all meet up. The fuel will be able to come up from the bottom here through that into the regulator, and that'll just bolt onto, I'll make a bracket to make that fit up onto there. You'll have your fuel pressure reading on there, and the fuel lines will deliver fuel to the fuel rail down there, which then splits off and comes up to this top fuel rail up here. So the next thing I've done, this is all my fuel injection stuff. So it's a Microtech fuel injection system. So I've got the ECU for the engine, the ECU for the ignition system, and so all the wiring's basically all done. So because I've got this second hand, so what I've done, I've just gone around and just worked out off the back here is the wiring diagram. So it's pretty simple. It tells you what colours and everything goes to. So I've just gone around and labelled it all. For the whole fuel injection system to work, it only needs two inputs. It needs throttle position and coolant temp is the minimum you need. So water temperature, and where was it? I think it's here. That's throttle position there, and the rest of these are injector wires, down to my 4 coils. That goes to the ignition module, and the rest of it goes up to the fuel pump relay. So that's the next bit, is really nothing out, laying it out. I'll probably pull all this off and lay it out and then reconduit it with more electrical tape, but it's a bit mangy. This is the program you get with the Microtech engine ECU. So that's the ECU, and when you get the program, you also get this, which has a dongle there, and the dongle plugs into that, onto the ECU, and then that plugs into the back of the dongle, and then that plugs into the laptop. And once you got all that plugged in, you can do all your tuning by here. I'm pretty lucky because this ECU is already programmed for this engine. It was running off this engine, so there's no need to probably do anything. But you've got all your gauges and has everything in there. Really, all your needs, so you can tune the engine just via all those inputs. You've got data logging, all that sort of stuff as well. So that'll be the next step. Got a sticker as well of wiring up the engine. There's a little CD in there as well, but I've already got the program on there, but I'll probably load that on just in case there's a newer version on that CD. So this is some of the inputs that the fuel injection needs. So this is the throttle position switch on the throttle, which is there, which is the rod that runs through there. So that's the throttle position switch plug. So you only need two inputs, one from there and the coolant temp sender, which is just down there. You can run other ones as well. You can run a map sensor, and you can run an oxygen sensor, but been advised not to. But we'll see how that goes. That's the electronic ignition where the plug goes. Okay, for the next episode, I'll do a bit more plumbing up, get all those oil cooler lines on, and start fiddling around a bit more with the wiring on the car, and then hopefully try and get the engine bay all nutted out. So I hope you enjoyed this little quick episode, and I'll see you in the next one.